Hello everyone, welcome to another maths lesson. In this lesson, what we're going to focus on is solving inequations, but specifically we're focusing on case 5 where we're dealing with an equation containing the unknown quantity on both sides. So let's look at some example. So the first example that we have is 3x minus 2 is less than or equal to x plus 4. How would you go about solving a question like this? Note that we have x term and constant term. So the x term are like terms and the constant term are like terms. So what we need to do is to decide on which side of the inequality we want the x term to be on compared to the constant term. So for this video, we're going to group the x term on the left-hand side and we're going to group the constant term on the right-hand side. Note on the left-hand side, we already have 3x. So that means positive x is our focus. Now, if we want to transfer positive x to the other side, we need to do the opposite of that operation, which is to subtract x from both sides. So that would be our step 1. How would you state this in your book? This is how you would state it as 3x minus x minus 2 less than or equal to x minus x plus 4. What are you going to do at this stage? At this stage, you are going to simplify. When you simplify, what would you get? Note there that 3x minus x is going to leave you back with 2x, and you write back your minus 2. And x minus x, that was 0, and 0 plus 4 is going to give you 4. So therefore, you would have 2x minus 2 is less than or equal to 4. When you observe your inequation at this stage, you note that you have constant on both sides, which are minus 2 and 4. So how can you transfer that negative 2 to the right-hand side? You can do that by doing the opposite, which is to add 2 to both sides. So that would be your step 3. How would you state this in your book? It would be 2x minus 2 plus 2 is less than or equal to 4 plus 2. At this stage, what are you going to do? You're simply going to simplify. So when we simplify, we would end up with 2x is less than or equal to 6. Are we finished at this stage? No. Why? Because we don't have x by itself. We have 2x. So how can we transfer that coefficient to the other side? Note that the coefficient 2 is used to multiply x. So the operation there originally is multiplication. We can transfer that 2 to the other side by dividing both sides by 2. How would you state this in your book? You would state it as 2x all over 2 is less than or equal to 6 all over 2. When you simplify this, that would give you your solution. So note, 2x over 2 will give you x, and 6 over 2 will give you 3. So therefore, your solution is x is less than or equal to 3. Right? So x can take on any value that is less than or equal to 3, such as 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -10, -1,000,000, all the way to -infinity. Therefore, the solution set is the set of all values of x such that x is less than or equal to 3. Let's look at our second example. We're given 3x plus 2 is less than or equal to 5x minus 4. Note that we're going to group the x term on the left-hand side and group the constant on the right. So that means 5x is our focus. We note that 5x is positive. We can transfer 5x to the left-hand side by subtracting 5x from both sides. How would you state this? You would state this as 3x minus 5x plus 2 is less than or equal to 5x minus 5x minus 4. What are you going to do at this stage? You are going to simplify. When you simplify, what is your expected answer? It is going to be negative 2x plus 2 is less than or equal to negative 4. At this stage, if you observe your inequation, you note that you have constant term on both sides. Remember that you want all the constant term on the right-hand side, which means that we need to transfer that positive 2 to the right-hand side. We can do that by subtracting 2 from both sides. How would you state that in your book? You would state it as negative 2x plus 2 minus 2 less than or equal to negative 4 minus 2. At this stage, what are you going to do? You are going to simplify. But be careful when you are simplifying negative numbers. Remember, once the sign are the same, you are going to add the numbers and keep the same sign. So on the left-hand side, note that positive 2 minus 2, that is just 0. So what you are going to left back with is just negative 2x. And on the right, you have minus 4 minus 2. The signs are the same, so you are going to add the digits or the numbers, which is 4 plus 2. That's going to give us 6, and we must keep the same sign, so that's just negative 6. So what you would end up with is just negative 2x is less than or equal to negative 6. At this stage, what are you going to do? You need to transfer the coefficient of the x term to the other side. What is the negative 2 doing to the x? It is multiplying the x. So that means we can use the opposite operation to transfer it. So what are we going to do then? We're going to divide both sides by negative 2. How would you state this in your book? You would state it as negative 2x all over negative 2 is less than or equal to negative 6 all over 2. But a very important point that I need to make. Remember, whenever you multiply by a negative number or divide by a negative number, you must switch the inequality symbol in order for the inequation to remain true. All right? So note here, when we simplify, we would end up with x is greater than or equal to 3. Therefore, our solution set is the set of all x values such that x is greater than or equal to 3. Let's look at the third example. We have 3x minus 7 is greater than or equal to 2x plus 9. Again, we're going to group the x term on the left and the constant term on the right. So in this case, 2x is our focus. We note that 2x is positive. We can transfer it to the left-hand side by doing the opposite operation, which is to subtract 2x from both sides. How would you state this? You would state it as 3x minus 2x minus 7 greater than or equal to 2x minus 2x plus 9. At this stage, you are going to simplify. When you simplify, what would you get? You are going to end up with x minus 7 is greater than or equal to 9. Note, you have constant term on both sides. You need all the constant term on the right hand side. So in order to transfer that -7, we can do the opposite, which is to add 7 to both sides. How would you state this in your book? It would be x minus 7 plus 7 greater than or equal to 9 plus 7. Then at this stage, we're going to simplify. So when we simplify, what we will end up with is our solution, which is x is greater than or equal to 16. Hence, the solution set is the set of all x values such that x is greater than or equal to 16. Let's look at our final example, which is 4x plus 1 less than 3x minus 2. Again, the principle remains the same. We're going to group the x term on the left-hand side and group the constant term on the right, starting off with the x term. So note that 3x is on the right, which means that 3x is our focus because we want that 3x to be transferred to the left-hand side. Note it is positive, so we can transfer it to the left by doing the opposite, which is to subtract 3x from both sides. Then, how would you state this in your book? It would be 4x minus 3x plus 1 less than 3x minus 3x minus 2. At this stage, what are you going to do? Simplify. When you simplify, what would you end up with? It is just x plus 1 is less than minus 2. Note that you have constant term on both sides, and we want the constant term to be on the right hand side, which means that positive 1 is our focus in this case. How can we transfer positive 1 to the right hand side? We can do that by doing the opposite operation, which is to subtract 1 from both sides. And that's how you would state it as x plus 1 minus 1 less than minus 2 minus 1. What are we going to do next? We're going to simplify. After simplify, that will give us our solution, which is x is less than -3. Hence, the solution set is the set of all x values such that x is less than -3. To ensure that you fully understand this concept, I have prepared 4 questions for you to try. Thank you for watching and do enjoy the rest of your day. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment.